guys, it's Dave from AIPTcomics.com, and we have the just released Amazing Yamaguchi Batman Series number 9. This is the latest figure from the Amazing Yamaguchi line. They've done figures like Spider-Man, I think that was their first one, Venom, Spider-Gwen, and Deadpool, just to name a few. I think they've also done Magneto. This is, I think, the first DC Yamaguchi they've done. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty psyched for this figure because Amazing Yamaguchi is very, very good at making figures extremely posable. And the joints have an ability to kind of go in any direction. Particularly for this figure, it's also the cape that can be highly posed. So just to start, here's the box. Obviously, there's a window for the figure. On the left, we have a Batman in his unhappy face head. He has two heads in the box. As you can see, it was sculpted by Yamaguchi Katsuhisa. There's some logos on here. DC, Batman. This is kind of more of a classic Batman logo. And also Justice League, which is interesting. It makes me think maybe they're going to be doing more of the big heroes for DC. On the bottom, there's some text here, as you can see. I'm not sure where it's from. It's sort of, I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's trying to give you the idea that it's not, Batman is Gotham, Gotham is Batman. It's sort of like they're going to go hand in hand. One interesting thing I noticed here on the art they used, I don't think this is the traditional Batman. If anything, I think it's the Elseworlds Batman, who is also, is not actually Bruce Wayne. It's his father as Batman. Because you can see the red behind the logo on his chest and then the red eyes, which is an interesting choice for art, I would say, especially since the figure doesn't actually have any red on it. I would guess that they take this art because the cape has like a very angular look to it, and this cape has that as well. On the side, we've got a couple different pieces of art, including the figure. As you can see, look at that cape. This looks like maybe Neil Adams. There's definitely the Jim Lee art here. Maybe Adam Kubert there. More Jim Lee right here. And then on the top, we've got another cool pose by Batman. And then on the other side, we have just the figure itself again. And then on the back, we've got Batman saying stuff. So this is a common thing for the Yamaguchi figures. On the back of the art, the back of the box, there's art with word bubbles to kind of like, I don't know, convey the fact that this is a comic book character. I'm goddamn Batman's one. Okay, that I think you can get away with that. I think he definitely says that. Snacks at this hour? Question mark? Not sure about that one. About to tell me everything you know. I'm sure this is more of a retort, but it's kind of weird the way it's kind of, you know, not a full sentence. It's a tempting offer, but I think I can manage. Okay. Don't think he's ever said that before. So this figure is basically the figure, his awesome cape, and then two heads. That's about all you get, although maybe there's some other things inside. So let's unbox this and check it out. So this figure was bought on BigBagToyStore.com. It retails for $80. All the Yamaguchi figures retail for $80. Oh, some more art on the inside here. Is that Frank Miller? I think it is. Oh, and there's also a bat logo on the inside too. That's kind of cool. A little extra, additional. So the figure comes out, as you can see, more Jim Lee art in the inside here, as well as some instructions. Huh. This is funny. Way on the inside there, you see this Shazam. For some reason, that's weird, right? And then another Batman. It's almost like he's evil in that picture. Oh, and then a little more art on the side here. God, they've gone above and beyond with the art on the box. So I'm gonna just look at these instructions that came with it. So this gives you like a breakdown of everything that came with the toy. Looks like, what is this? It's all in Japanese, as you can see. So and there wasn't an English version. But you can see this looks like his arm. Oh, this is how you connect the cape to his arm. And then he's got a batarang, he's got the gun, he's got the gun that's shooting. That's pretty cool, I like that. You could use that for any Batman figure. Looks like you can actually have him hang, which is neat. And then here are some details on how the cape kind of goes into his back. And then, oh, this is interesting. Instead of a full head, they've just made jaws, so you can change his expression. And then there's some info on the stand. All right, so as you can see, this part comes out, and you got all the cape pieces in the bottom, and then you've got the figure in his plastic casing here. There's some tape stuff on the inside here. Let's get that out. So, as you can see, this is his hand and then a piece of his cape, so you can kind of have him pulling the cape as if it is cloth, when in fact it is plastic. So this is the clenching mouth. Interesting mold here. You can't see the teeth because there is no, like, each tooth isn't drawn, but there's some nice pink skin on the inside of his mouth to kind of convey that it is his mouth. Then we've got a couple hands. This is good detail on the hand. On the back of the hand, you have some like armor on the back of his hand. That's kind of cool, and some knuckles too. A couple more hands in here. Looks like a spider. We've got some kind of like trigger hands. All right, let's see. Take this out. Here's the other fist that's holding his cape. That's actually pretty cool. You can see it's like pushing through the cape. And we've got the battering gun thingy here. It's all one piece, looks like. Wow, look at that. That's really cool. So obviously that's his hand that connects to the body, but nice gold on the gun. This is pretty hard plastic. This isn't gonna bend, which is fine. Cool grappling hook too. That's nice. It's all one piece too. Yeah. And it feels pretty sturdy. I'm pulling on it. It's not gonna break or anything. You got a couple batarangs. No detail on the batarang, as you can see, but nice shape to it. And it's pretty sharp on the edges. So don't give that to little kids. Let's see, and then we've got another grappling hook gun. This one's not shooting, so it's like before he shoots. Again, nice detail. Nice accessory. All right, and then we've got Batman. Let's just take some of this plastic out. We got another plastic piece. Then there's even more cape. My God. Oh, jeez. Stuff falling. All right, so this is done. This piece of plastic we don't need. I'm just gonna clean up a little here. All right. So that's a lot of cape. Oh my God. If you like Transformers, I'm sure you're gonna love this cape because there's some construction to be had here. Let's look at the figure though. So, like with the Deadpool and Spider-Man and other figures in this line, lots of plastic kind of tucked into the figure. And I learned the hard way last time, if you just rip them apart and pull out that plastic, it's easier than tearing it. And this is all here to protect the plastic when they ship it, which is great because you don't want, paint rubbed off. I'm just gonna tear these ones out. I mean, you're paying $80. It better be perfect. Okay, so this is interesting. It's almost like he has a backpack, but these are all the little pieces that you will plug the cape into, which is kind of cool. Oh, and then you've got even more here to plug them in. But before we do that, let's look at this figure. Whoa, that's weird. Right off the bat, do you see that metal there? It's like a bolt going through the foot. Interesting. He's got the boot, but this bolt is very obvious. I'm surprised they didn't paint over it. Maybe they thought it was like kind of like cool because it's metal and it looks like armor. I don't know. It's kind of surprising. Let's start with the head. This is his unhappy face. I can't believe how smug he looks. It's comical. I have a little paint damage on the forehead here. There's a little bit of white. Maybe I can just scratch it off later. As you can see his ear. Let's just pull out this jaw. Let's see how hard it is to do. Maybe I don't know. Oh man, it doesn't want to come out. Okay. I don't want to break it though. I don't know, guys. This doesn't seem... Oh, there we... Oh, that's kind of gross, isn't it? Oop. Well, actually, that's kind of cool. No face. Let's put on his other face. I think this one's a little cooler. I'm surprised I didn't start with this one. So there's like a little peg hole in there. Just plug him in. Oh yeah, that's... Oh, he's mad. Yeah. Okay, moving down. Oh, so moving down, you have this incredibly muscular neck. All these figures, the Yamaguchi figures, the necks are really long to get more movement with the head, so you can go straight up or you can push him down. Gives you a little bit more leeway with like posing, and it can turn a little, but not too much. Can't go all the way around. The head, I think, can go all the way. Yep, it can go all the way around. Then he can look up and down. And actually side to side, because you see this extra piece of plastic here, allows you to do that, which is nice. Just a little bit more movement. You'll notice the chest here, you've got the bat symbol. I was noticing on the art, and now I see it here too, he's got some huge pecs to the point where it almost looks comical how much it sticks out. This is like Rob Liefeld's style of Batman, I suppose. And then you've got these sort of shoulder pad areas, so you can go like so to get even more movement, and then there's their arm. So it looks like they might have updated the joints for this line, because the Spider-Man, that right there, that little joint in there, that was super thin, and over time I think it might break. This looks thicker though. They've definitely like upped the ante on it a little bit more, maybe to make it last longer. Even this joint here, you can see it's pretty robust. And then the hand can go, look at that, like that's crazy how much you can bend that. People are gonna love that. And then you've got the cool gauntlet blades on the side. This is definitely a badass Batman, not a low-key Batman. And then he can bend completely in the middle. Obviously you don't want to see that inside part, but he's got this extra stomach piece, and all the Yamaguchis have this too. It's just a piece of plastic in there, kind of hiding the fact that there's, joints in there. And he's got a fist here. 2 fists on this when you open it. And then going down, he's got the utility belt, which is very gold. Looks metallic, like a metallic gold, which is a little surprising. Doesn't usually look super metallic in the comic. And as you can see, it actually has its own joint, which is, you don't see this on like Marvel Legends. And that's so that when you pose him, you can kind of move it around and make it work for your pose. And then moving down, we've got a joint here that connects to the body. This joint doesn't usually move too much. It does give you like movement there. I mean, you could probably go all the way around. You might break it if you do, but you don't really need to, because then you have you got this like thigh piece, and then, so as you can see, it's really just going to be going around and around and around, not bending too much. And then going down, you've got the knee here. This is kind of like the armor. And then I'm surprised the boot doesn't actually turn. But this piece goes like so. As you can see, there's only one way it can go. This part doesn't turn. I would expect that to. But then you go all the way down to the ankle, and this is going to have full range of motion all the way around, up and down. And then you've got the foot, the toe, which I like. If a figure doesn't have that toe joint, it's usually kind of, I don't know, you can't get that cool like pose where you're like, he's like digging in. And that's the figure. It's obviously not going to be as posable as Spider-Man, but you don't really need it to be, right? Because Batman doesn't bend like Spider-Man. Overall, the way the figure looks, you could something I had a real big problem with Spider-Man. If you watch the video, you'll see, is the way the legs look and the way they bend. It's if you don't have it in the right position, it's like he's broken his leg somehow. It's very strange. Whereas this, you can't do too much without it looking way off. And you've got like nice seams to sort of draw your eye down and make it look like it's one piece. So that's nice. And in the back too. I have to say the detail in the this, I guess you'd call it the leotard he's wearing, the skin tight clothing here. It's pretty good. You can see there's like some detail here to show that it's like stretched, which is nice. And then you can obviously see all his muscles here. even under his arms too. You've got, well, this is structure I think for his suit, but then you've got all the muscles underneath, and then you've got muscles in the arms. So that's pretty sweet. Another problem I've had with Yamaguchi, not to just keep talking about problems, but the heads are a little small for the body. This looks pretty good, pretty proportionate. The chest, I would say, is coming out a little too much. But this head isn't too small. Spider-Man's head is comically small in certain poses, but this looks pretty great. Another thing I'm noticing just off the bat, this bat symbol on his chest, I'm not in love with it. The head of the bat in particular, well, first of all, if you look real close, you can see it's not symmetrical. It kind of goes up more on the left here than on the right. But I don't know. It's not the coolest bat symbol I've ever seen on a chest of a Batman figure or Batman comic book. I mean, you get the point across, but you can see how it's sort of not traditional at all. All right, so let's look at the cape. Okay, we're back, and we have Batman with a cape. So I just went off camera to put together this cape. It's actually kind of complicated. I could see people who like to pose figures spending a lot of time with this. You've got a hole here that goes into this sort of like shoulder cape for this longer piece, and then these kind of connect to each other. And then you've got two more right here that can kind of do these bigger pieces, I think, to kind of cover him when you're looking at him from this position. He's got almost the whole cape. And then as you can see over here, we've got more pieces of cape. So I don't know how many times over you can kind of extend these, but it looks like a lot if you use the right pieces, because obviously you see there's a peg here, and then there's a hole, and you can just keep going. We've got four more of these smaller pieces, and then two more of these pieces on top of what he's already got. That's quite a bit. And then there's another tiny one. Is there two tiny ones? There is two tiny ones. So two tiny ones. This is really neat. I don't know, whoever came up with this idea is pretty cool. Cool idea. Just, obviously with capes on figures, you've seen with the Doctor Strange, there's some wire and it's cloth. I don't have a lot of figures that have capes, but typically it's usually hard plastic. Like I have a Thor that has a hard plastic cape. This though lets you articulate that cape. And that's really cool for a Batman fan because, I mean, let's be honest, the cape is how it looks, especially when you read comics. It can be really dramatic and cool, and you can make your figure dramatic and cool. This is just a quick one I came up with here. He's got the fist here where he's pulling the cape. I don't know how good that looks right there. I need to actually kind of play around with it to figure out how you could get this to look pretty sweet. Maybe this kind of like curves in or something. Just as you can see, it's thin plastic. There's no detail besides the curvature of the cape. It has got this sharp-edged look on the edges though, which is pretty cool. And you've got a lot of pieces, so you can kind of make it what you want. Obviously, you can get a lot of different poses out of this cape. So, yeah, I think one of the biggest draws of this figure for a lot of people is going to be this cape and the fact that you can make him have different poses as he's flying through the air. And then, obviously the cape kind of conveys that energy when you're posing, so you can really, get creative with how that cape looks. So overall, this is a pretty sweet figure. You've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10 hands. You've got 10 different hands. You've got 2 faces. I'm not a big fan of this this unhappy face, but what are you gonna do? And then a lot of pieces of cape, and then this really, really sweet grappling hook gun, and another gun, and a batarang. Okay, batarang. At least he came with one. And then on top of that, you also get 2 extra joints, possibly if you need them for the cape or if they break, because these things can, if you look really closely here, you can kind of bend it the wrong way and break it out. They can pop in pretty easy though, but I've noticed with my Spider-Man, after a lot of posing, they get kind of worn out a little bit. So it's nice that there's 2 extra ones. Overall, really cool figure. Never seen anything like it, especially with this cape. Obviously, there's a couple little things that I don't love. The face, this emblem on his chest is not so great. But aside from that, it's a really cool figure, and it comes with a stand, great cape action, and a lot of cool little details in the figure, so he looks muscular and accurate to the character in the comics. Overall, I'm going to give this a high score. If you go to AFPTcomics.com, you can see that score, as well as some pictures I'll take of the figure and different poses and up-close imagery, so you can kind of get a better look at it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment, let me know how I did. And we're going to have even more action figure unboxings for you going forward. Thanks for watching. Bye, he says in the word, but wait. Oh.